So, have a water and have paper and pen. Really what I want you to do, and I was just talking to Beck, one thing I'd really like is for you the whole time we're talking, for you to be thinking about people, but then also the why. Like I would write down like Caitlin and then write down, she doesn't think she's a salesperson. It'd be great for her to really talk to her about this specific part of Becky's story, those kind of things. I think the more that you can identify yourself and your potentials in this. So one thing I don't want you to do is I don't want you to be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for my team to hear this. Oh my gosh, I'm going to send the recording straight to so-and-so as soon as it's ready. And then you're like just waiting for the recording so you can just send it to your level one so that she can catch this vision. What I really want is for you to sit with your own personal business. I will say, I sent back the questions, but on Marco Polo, I'm pretty sure she didn't watch them because I didn't see her little face and the little dots.
My mom called me.
So tell Kay Meredith, thank you. But Becca's going to feel completely blindsided by every single one of these questions. But here is what I was telling her, and she'll find out later when she listens to Marco Polo, is that we have told our story, the two of us, like how we kind of got started and kind of this journey of friends doing the business together, feels like hundreds of times over the last 9 years. But I want to dig into it just a little bit more and give some of the sections of it a little bit more time and detail, because I think as you are sitting right there, you are thinking, hey, you're the me in this scenario. You're the current ambassador who is going, I really think my friends need this. Like, I really think my friends need a probiotic. I really think my friends could have a great experience with this pink drink, but they don't see it. Like, I'm posting about it. I'm sharing about it. I'm probably being somewhat annoying about it. Oh, that's me to start the masterclass. I'm doing all the things right, but like they're not getting it. So what I want you to think about while Beck and I are talking, especially at the beginning of her journey, is what are they experiencing on their side that you may not be either speaking into or you may not be really aware of. So Beck, the first question I want to ask you, okay, so just background, Becky and I have been friends at this point right now for 20 years. We've known each other since before we, started dating our husbands. We were in each other's weddings. We've been at, all the births and all the things. So we are true, like good, dearest of friends, do life together. And at the time that I started Plexus, I wouldn't say we were doing life together. Just the fact that we had different communities. We were going to different churches. We had different things going on. We loved each other, but we'd be like, catch you like maybe once a year, lived in the same town, but just didn't connect all the time. texting wasn't a thing. She was always there for all of the Ella stuff. I was there for anything she needed, but it wasn't like we were doing daily life together like we are now. So I just want to set at the stage, because so often you'll probably think, well, they were talking every day. So of course it was easy for her to have this conversation. And the first thing that I want to ask Beck is what was going on in the Page house while Andrea is blowing up your Facebook, and you're having to scroll past all of these pink drink and probiotics and, yay for Plexus. What is going on kind of in the Page house, kind of behind the scenes that you're not like sharing with everybody, but is kind of like almost like setting the stage for why this might be a potential connection?
Yeah. We were just very busy, and I definitely, like, I remember even seeing, I think, one of your very first posts about Plexus. And what's funny is I really didn't think much until I happened to see my sister-in-law, who doesn't even take Plexus now. My sister-in-law said something about Plexus. And so that was a one-time thing. I guess she had tried it from someone under Sarah Marble. And so I think seeing it layered made me look more at you. But what was happening in my house was I worked full time. My husband worked full time. We were both really busy. We had 2 young children. We had a nanny that would come over every morning and be there until 5 every day when I got home. And we were just stressed financially. It was like we were just kind of barely keeping our heads above water and both working all the time and had very little spare time. And we were praying, we were asking the Lord to open some doors for supplemental income. And when I saw you post about Plexus, that is not what came to my mind at all. I just was like, what's this drink? And oh gosh, is Andrea getting into another MLM? Because I had walked with you through the whole Arbonne thing, where if you don't know, just I'm not going to go into that, but Andrea's husband made her sell her awesome Forerunner to pay off debt that she had incurred or put on her credit card for purchasing Arbonne stuff. And I just, that was my thought about MLM. Oh my gosh, it makes you go into debt. You don't earn any income. Do the products even work? Or the products are expensive? And why would I do that? Blah, blah, blah. So I wasn't at all thinking about income until Andrea and I got on the phone. And that took maybe some months. She started talking about this in November, and I don't think we got on the phone until January.
Yeah, and it's so funny because Beck is so a let's get on the phone kind of person, and I'm not even to this day. And so but again, we had that friendship that it was easy to be like, okay, I'm not scared to get on the phone. I'm probably more scared to get on the phone now and talk about Plexus than I was back then because I didn't know what I didn't know. And I just was passionate about the fact that our story was driving my passion. My story was driving my belief. And so getting on the phone wasn't as scary because I was well aware I didn't know a lot of things. And I was really actually well aware Becky knew more than I did about products, ingredients, for sure, probiotics, things like that. But all I could keep saying was, I know it's working. So I don't understand how you can compare labels. I literally put that on her to go back and compare the labels. But I had the belief that there was something there. And what's interesting when Beck talks about even like financial strain is to me, I would say their financial strain was like good finances. It was like law school. It was, master's programs. It was, a very, modest house in a great neighborhood that like, it wasn't like they were buying the biggest houses and the newest cars and, going on the hottest trips. Like they were being really good stewards, but that doesn't mean that every single, bill or whim, or let's be honest, child's needs is always like, oh yeah, we've got 10 times that in the bank account at all times. A tire blows on the car. And as we all know, that's a couple $100. And you're like, I really had that kind of earmarked for camp this summer or for the babies, for the nanny to come. And so those kind of things, I think what's interesting is I had no idea. I thought for us as a lawyer, Beck's running a still very successful, even after she sold it. Like it's an incredibly successful counseling practice.
And I didn't want you to know. I remember Andrea talked to me a little bit about making income. And my response, I think I actually said these words, just in case any of your people that you're talking to say this. We don't really need extra income, which was a total lie, surrounded by pride and fear, because I didn't want her to think that we needed this, by the way, because one, it was like, well, we did live in a really nice neighborhood, which was part of the reason why we were always running to keep up with everyone around us. And we both had professional careers. And so I didn't want her to think that we needed money, and we did need money. And honestly, even me saying that, like the entire conversations that my husband and I had around Plexus in the beginning were, what if this helped us? And so even though I was telling her like, no, and we had just bought like a new car, and I was like, we don't really need like a car, she's like, you can get a Lexus. And I was just shooting her down because I was afraid of her knowing that we needed income. But two, I just was really prideful. And honestly, like I tripped myself up so much in the beginning with my own pride. So I just say that to tell you that when people blow you off, it's so important that you don't personalize it, because so often it's just about something going on with them. It is truly not about you, your products, your business, or your opportunity. And I'm so grateful that God really humbled me with this, because I also was afraid to want something. Does that make sense? Like I was afraid to want to be successful at something new, because that felt like it was an opportunity for me to fail or be rejected. And so I downplayed stuff with Plexus for a while, because I was really, like, honestly, just kind of emotionally fragile and couldn't handle failing at something right then. So if I didn't really want it, and I said we didn't really need income, then if I struggled, I'd like already given myself permission to fail. I don't know if that resonates with any of y'all, but if it does, that's a mindset issue that you really have to become aware of, so that you can work on actually flipping that around and going, I do need income. And I can let that be like a healthy drive for me, not like a setup for failure. The fact that I need income validates the fact that I'm actually working hard on this. And instead, I was trying to like self-preserve. So if that's any of your stories, welcome to the club. So yeah, I told Andrea, no, we don't need it. Thanks. But in the meantime, in my head, I'm like, if I could get her and her and her, like I was already strategizing.
So Beck's gateway drug was Probio 5. I don't think that pink drink would have probably been on her radar if it didn't come, if it was like automatically like you get, like you're supposed to get like Slim and probiotic and BioCleanse. And she'll tell you this, that it's kind of like, I don't want a pink drink, but I would love to know if this pink drink is going to make me lose 5 pounds. And so I would say the gateway that I vividly remember where I was sitting having a conversation with you about Probio 5. But where did it go from, okay, your probiotic might actually be superior to the one I'm spending all this money on at Whole Foods, to like, and I just don't remember, honestly, where's the gap between that and like going gold? Like, where was kind of like, where's that story? Like, how did you go from like, okay, I'll try your probiotic, fine, to, okay, now I'm making enough money to cover the cost of my products? So it's fast.
Yeah, it was fast, partly because of the people that I went silver with, and senior silver, which wasn't even a rank back then. But what I wish I had been open to, or we had done more of, which we just didn't even know what we didn't know back then. I wish we would have strategized for ranks sooner, because I think it would have gone faster. And that's where I say that to bring up with you guys, if you haven't really sat down with each of your people who, first of all, I say it again, if they tell you like, I'm not really interested in the business, it's not that you don't believe them. Just tell yourself, I haven't found their hook. Okay. So don't stop telling your VIPs about reaching the rank of silver and senior silver. Don't stop talking to them about not only covering their products, but about building a supplemental income. And so what happened for me is, I remember, and actually it's funny because Andrea, I went from being like I would message Andrea about Plexus. She would message me back and I would ghost her for 2 weeks. And like, we were in each other's weddings and at each other's babies' births. So I was purposefully ghosting her. And partly I was really busy, but the other part was, again, I was all up in my head. So don't take ghosting personally, and then lean into the financial conversation soon. Everyone you know wants to earn more money. I don't say that flippantly. Everyone you know is in need of an extra $500 a month. I don't care if her husband is a surgeon. Like, she wouldn't mind spending that money at the spa every month, okay? But I wish we would have done a little bit more rank talking. I actually went gold the night that I went to my first ever Plexus meeting, which I almost didn't go to, except that 2 of my new level 1s, it was right after spring break. I remember spring break hanging out with one of my level 1s, Audra Sneed, and we talked a lot about Plexus, and she was getting excited about going silver herself. And she said, I know Andrea and Roz are doing this meeting. And I was like, okay. And she said, I'm going to go. And then Rachel Neagle said, I'm actually on spring break and I'm driving through Dallas and I'm going to stop and go. And I was like, well, I need to go. I mean, listen to this. It was just crazy. I was still so skeptical. And it was that meeting that really turned it around. So again, like that's the power of getting your people to some kind of event. And online events are something that each and every one of you on this call can host yourself. Like we host them for you week after week after week. But if you host it, it's even more powerful. So this was our very first really big Plexus meeting in Dallas. And we did it at one of Andrea's level ones, like her apartment, like event room, if that makes sense. You know what I'm talking about? And I mean, so many of us that were there, we were just brand new. We didn't know anything, but it was the power of seeing other people interested. So let me say this really quick. I want you to tell me in the chat, when was the last time that you, I'm talking to you individually, got more than one of your level ones to get on a call, a Zoom call or an in-person coffee meeting or whatever with you? When was the last time that you did something with more than one level one? You can call it a team call. You can call it an op event. I want you to tell me in the chat. Because if that's missing, that's an essential piece. Thank you, Darlene, for your honesty. Thank you, Stacy. Okay, Christy said last week. She's got one today. Go, Christy. Keep telling me. I want to hear, because this is so powerful. And the reason I say more than one level one is because let's say both Sarah and Kristen McKee are my level ones. And I'm like, you know what? I want us to get on a call because I want us to talk about how we're going to get you guys to silver. What happens is Kristen sees Sarah going, yeah, I do want to go silver. And here's why I need to go silver. And Kristen suddenly goes, well, why wouldn't I go silver too? If she's going to do it, I want to do it. And it creates that sense of, well, if she can, I can. And I'm telling you, that was a huge piece of the beginnings of my business. And my husband came to a meeting, like after I went to that first event where I went gold, I went to another event about a month later and Russ came and Russ was like, I mean, the people standing up, he was like, this is a no-brainer. Like if she can do it, you can do it. And that was the fire. Because he was the one that said, I think you should go for diamond. And I remember thinking, if I ever get to emerald, that will be a miracle. And he said, well, why would you stop there? Like you should go to diamond. So it's the power of you creating a sense between your level ones that not only should you do this, but she's going to do it. So why shouldn't you? Even better, like if it's multiple level ones, because what it does is it normalizes the fact that this is an industry where there's an opportunity for every individual who wants it. I mean, guys, going silver is, I don't know why we've started making it so hard. But, and then for you, each of you guys on this call, when you develop a new silver, I'm just curious. If you've been with our company for more than 2 years, think back to your first silver, your first person that went silver under you. Was it like, oh my gosh, this is insane? Or were you kind of like, oh yeah, well, I did it, so you should do it too? I mean, like, which expectation was it? The first or the second? Was it a shock? Like, I can't believe or what? Yeah, Sarah says it was the second. It was like, well, of course, this is what I mean, like there was a season where we almost didn't even announce silvers because they were so common. But I want to know, and I'm going to ask for some accountability. This is not shame. This is not shame. I want you to be honest. Tell me when the last time you developed a level 1 silver was. I'll tell you mine right away. Mine was last fall. Remember, I'm looking at y'all. I'm reading the chat. This is good. This is an interactive call. Okay. So we've got a little bit of half and half. Thank you for the honesty. Some of y'all haven't yet. That's okay. But what I want to say is we need to stop, like somewhere along the line, it went from this is the norm to I can't do that anymore. And you didn't forget how, if you've never done it and you've been with the company a while, there's a block. And you alone can figure that out. Now, it's a block about yourself as an entrepreneur. Because I don't think people that get on this call have a problem with the products. You're faithful to the products, you love them. And you also believe in the company, and you probably believe in this team because you spend time with us on Mondays. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump the gun and tell you it's probably a block in your mindset about yourself as an entrepreneur. Yep. Paulette, I hear you. Okay. Anyone else say, yes, I've got a mental block. And maybe the mental block has come from, it's just been so long since I've developed a silver. So what is, and you start getting that nervousness. Okay. This is where it's not that you don't know what to do. I think sometimes we go, well, I don't even know what to do. No, you're just not having those conversations. Or when some of you guys are in a recruitment block, right? You might be struggling with recruiting someone. Other of you guys are not in a recruitment block, but you've blocked yourself on having the financial conversation with people, or when they don't express interest, you're kind of fishing. And when they're not really biting on that hook, you go, okay, well, I don't want to lose them. So I'm going to stop talking about that. And what happens is you're down gearing in your belief about yourself as an entrepreneur. Every time that happens, it's telling you, yep, I'm not a business recruiter. I mean, all I can tell you is stop it, go back and have the conversation again and make it about the other person. Yeah. Sarah says, talk less and ask more. It is all about the questions. Okay. So who is this that says, I don't know, you don't have a user ID, Samsung. Who is this? I'm looking. Tell me your name in the chat, because you say no one's biting the hook. Okay, Angie, will you unmute and tell me what you mean when you say no one's, I want to hear what the hook is that no one's biting.
Yep.
Okay, I can hear you. Go ahead. Tell me what you're saying that no one's biting on.
I'm getting coached with Sarah and Christy. So I'm just getting all these messages to say what to say to them. Yeah. So they usually come back with me, okay, I'll check it out, or I'm not interested, or I'm on health protocol with a herbal thing. Right. So check with me later, or they have a flu or a horrible cold, check with me later. So they're not interested right now. I have an aunt I just chatted with yesterday. She is at that, she's had horrible health issues for the last probably 40 years. And I've heard every time we get together with her, she's always saying what her problem is, always about her health. You kind of get sick of hearing about that. It's something else to talk about. Now I have all this stuff, and she says, well, I'll look at it later. I have immune disorder disease, so nothing is going to cure that. So Christy and Sarah, they had said to tag them and introduce them to the Love Your Guts. So I did that, and she said, and I asked, did you join yet? And she says, I will yet. It's like, have you done it already? You know, it's like, I feel like I want her to get on it now, like to go look already, but yet in the back of my mind, obviously everybody's saying that it feels like I'm too pushy with her. So it's like, hey, I read all these things. I want you to read it already.
Yeah, let me ask you this.
Time limit.
Your person that you're talking about who's real sick and talks to you about, is she someone that you're drawn to her because you know she'd be amazing in this business, or are you drawn to her because you know you've got you have a product that would help her with her health?
The product.
Okay, so I think you're looking for sick people to join you in Plexus, which, listen, I've had a lot of sick folks join through the years. But if you're wanting to build a business, you need to look for healthy people whose lives will be enhanced and who actually show up in a spirit of like positivity, excitement. You don't have to convince them that these are great products because they already feel good. They're already interested in being healthy. And I will tell you, anyone else want to chime in the chat? Have you ever gotten so like heavy laden with sick people on your team that you just want to quit because all you're dealing with is autoimmune hell and people who are detoxing and people who feel like crap? Okay, yeah. I mean, people are saying yes in the chat. Now, listen, I want to be really clear. The number one mistake that new entrepreneurs with Plexus get into is they go looking for product users. The product users are like, they're everywhere. You will find them. Go look for business builders. Go look for people that are already showing like real desire for health. Go look for your friend that takes a walk every day and like posts photos from her walk, you know. Go look for someone who you enjoy being around. Like, she's not telling you all her health stuff and then telling you all the reasons you don't understand. She's already like curious about you in general. And Sarah Stewart said it really well. Don't tell them how awesome our products are. Tell them how, like, explain to them why you could see them really loving this business. Like, start there. Start with the business ask. Genevieve Scory always tells us, if you start with a business ask and they're not ready for that, then your next step is you have some incredible products. I mean, they could try them risk-free for 60 days. Like, what if you could just get some samples into their hands? That's how excited you are about the products. But it's really difficult when you go in for the product ask to upgrade them to a business ask. So start with your business conversation. And what that looks like in your initial reach out is telling them why you think they would be so good. And, you know, that's something that we all have to learn is identify, and we say it over and over again on Masterclass, make that list of the type of person that you're looking for. What are they like? What are their hobbies? What's their personality like? Why do you already enjoy following them on social media or when you see them at church or school or your work? It's like, she brightens my day. She would be so good at this. Go like upgrade who you're looking for. And I'm going to be honest. I think, yeah, Christy, you can ask. Let me finish this thought. I think honestly, because you guys block yourselves as entrepreneurs, like because you don't believe in yourself and the business, you go look for product users, because to upgrade your beliefs about yourself would actually cause you to upgrade who you're looking for on your team. And maybe you're not ready for that. Maybe you're not ready to do that work in yourself. Okay, Christy M, you can ask your question.
Metropolis. Okay, so I'm a gold ambassador. Okay, so I've been with Plexus since May, and I do have several, under me that are working the business, and she's one of them. She's a new one. She's my level 2. So the question I have is this. I'm looking at all of y'all rock stars, even Sarah Byers, she's my mentor. So she's the one above me that got me in. And, she's looking to rank up to Emerald, and, Randy's the Sapphire, Brandy's, she's the Gold. And then we've got that, tier, going up. And I'm looking at y'all, and I'm looking at Roz, and I met her like face to face. And I'm saying, gosh, if you guys can do it, we can too.
Yes.
Like, it's not just for a certain personality or whatever. And like, I'm 65 years old. I've been widowed for 12 years. I need this business.
Yes.
For retirement. This is my big why is I want to be financially free, and I don't want my adult children trying to take care of me. Okay.
Yes,
so I've got this huge goal, and I want to make it there. Here's where I find that I struggle with talking to somebody or leading with the business. When I see somebody and I think, I've got a group of women at my church, and I look at them and I'm like, y'all are active on Instagram. You got amazing, reels and stuff you do. And I'm like, I'm just this gold ambassador. I haven't made it there yet. So how do I come in with like a convincing, I want you to do this business with me, because like if they look at me like, how much money did you make last month? Right.
Andrea's dying. Andrea, can I say something really quick?
Yes.
Like, Christy, your energy right now is what I would look for. I'm like, damn, I want to be on her team. She's already excited. I mean, how many other people on this call are stuck with, but I'm only this rank, or I only make this much money, and that's why I can't. Yeah. So don't get so selfish and self-focused. And I want to be I say that harsh because I want you to know, like, Christy, what I just heard was you were praising other people and yet recognizing at the same time, there's no reason why I shouldn't get there. You know, your enthusiasm was what I was drawn to. I was like, oh, first of all, you look freaking incredible. Did you say 60, 65?
Yeah.
Okay. But you look so great, but it's more like your spirit that you're putting off. And you've got a plan. Like, this is why I want to do this. And this is why I want to recruit other women that I see and I believe something about them. Just tell them that.
Okay.
Tell them like that we all want to go work with people that see something special in us. That's not happening out in the world. Okay. I'm going to defer my time to Andrea because I know she's chomping at the bit too.
No, one of my questions is literally like, when you joined, when Becky joined, I was gold. So just like Chrissy, you can join, someone will join you when you're gold, because Becky wasn't looking at my income. Becky and I were talking about, what could this be for us? What could happen? We were casting vision with each other. Roz was senior gold. Like, she was, every time I ranked up, Roz ranked up. Like, that's how the business works, right? So I think the month I went gold, Roz went senior gold. The month I went ruby, Roz went senior ruby. So I wasn't looking at someone going, oh my gosh, that's possible. Now, there was Celeste, but it was almost like untouchable, like, just because she was busy running, she was trying to go double diamond. So she was busy on a totally different almost team than what she had established the first time. And here's what I want to say is, your rank is not important to the people in your audience. My rank, how much money I was making with Plexus, was not important to Becky. Russ saw what was possible for the pages with Plexus. I happened to be the vehicle that helped them find Plexus, but they were partnered with Plexus. You're partnered with Plexus. Your upline, your sponsor, your mentors, those are like just people that you get to do this with. But those can honestly come and go. And we've seen a lot of them go over the last 9 years. Like, whoever you're currently like attached your, like hitched your wagon to right now, like, they may not, you may pass them up in vision and leadership and every strength that there is imaginable. And that's fine. You are hitched, you need to hitch your wagon to Plexus and the compensation plan and the product line. And then you need to cast vision for what is possible. Like, Christy, make a list of 5 like people that you're like, she would kill this, because here's what I saw in Becky. I literally wrote down, what did I see in Beck? I saw community. Beck still has so many circles of connection and community. Like, if I look back at all the people she signed up in her level 1s, they're in different states. They're from different facets of life. They're people she was doing lunch with, or people that I knew she was still like, keeping up with. Like, find someone that has a lot of different communities, not just really popular in one community, but has a lot of different communities. Find people that are joyful. Find people that you want to work with, that find the positive, that when the world is crashing down, they're not the first person to deliver you the bad news, but they're the person you want to go to. Like, if you're having a rough day and you're like, I need some uplifting prayer, so-and-so is going to voice message me an uplifting prayer, and I'm going to be able to hear her voice. Like, she's just that person. If I'm sick or my tire blows out tomorrow, this is who I'm calling. Like, you want the person everybody wants to go to. Beck was that person. If I was in Lakewood and I was eating lunch, I would have been like, hey, Beck, I'm in your neck of the woods. Do you want to eat? She, no, I can't, whatever. But it didn't matter. Like, I knew I was within vicinity of her. I wanted to be around her if it was possible. Like, who's that person for you? And it doesn't have to be like like so often you're like, oh, the mayor's wife is interested in Plexus. I'm like, the mayor's wife ain't got no time to do Plexus. But like, and Becky didn't have time. Here's what something else. They may not want to quit their job. They may not. Becky didn't. If I had told Beck, oh my gosh, you could quit your job and sell your practice, she'd be like, girl, you killed it. I'm done. I'm out. Like, that's not going to be my goal here. Like, her goal was never, it was to add to what her counseling practice was doing and what Russ's job was doing, and to grow in what they were doing right at the moment in Dallas. If we had told Becky 9 years ago, P.S. it's March of 2014, and you're not going to believe what's happening in March of 2023. She'd have been like, I'm out. Like, if that's what Plexus is about to introduce into my life, the income looks amazing and so many other things, but you're about to send me to Arkansas and I'm not going to be a counselor anymore. Explain how that's going to work out. So you don't have to cast a long-term vision for everybody.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Christy.
Arkansas?
I'm in Arkansas now. I was in Dallas.
I live in Northwest Arkansas.
Where?
Gravette.
Okay. Well, I live in Fayetteville.
Okay, we're not very far away.
Look at us. No, I was going to say too, because I'm curious. You see people that you go, oh, I would love to have her on my team. Have you recruited that way yet? Have you reached out to someone and told them, I want to work with you? You would be so good at this. Oh, you haven't? Okay. That's where senior gold is.
Okay.
Senior gold is in those kind of conversations. And I'm curious, I want to ask some other folks on this team or on this call. I want to know, when was the last time and be honest, please, this is so important for y'all. When was the last time that you pursued someone, whether it was a text or a social media message, or even a phone call or an invitation to coffee, you pursued someone that you really want to join your team? Tell me in the chat. Darlene, look, Darlene, you had someone and you had a success rate. Now we just got to talk about why she's not silver. Okay, keep going. Month ago. Okay, today. Good, Melissa. Yeah, I hope for so many of y'all, it was either last week or today. Okay, so if you haven't sent that message in a while, I want to know in the chat why you're not sending those messages frequently. Months. Okay, Stacy Frank, just because I saw your face. Where'd you go? Okay, Stacy, if you can turn your video back on, I want to dig in with you. She's like, oh crap. Okay, unmute. Why has it been so long since you've sent a business recruiting message to someone?
I think I've let my business go, and it's more mindset, like I'm starting over.
Yeah. How do I do this again? Yeah. So it's the riding a bike piece that feels so heavy, right? Because you've been a business builder before. But Stacy, have you ever recruited someone solely for the business?
No.
Okay. And now I think you are in the perfect field. I really do. And I'm curious, do you have a list of people, like a hot list of people that you have written down somewhere that you'd go, if I could get this person interested in the business, she would be so good?
Years ago, I did.
Yeah. So this is the deal. Stacy, you have to today make a new business hot list. Like, I just constantly have a list of people. These are like people I'm praying for that are either on my team or I'm hoping to recruit soon. And these are the people I'm having conversations with. And, some of them will become product users because they're not ready to upgrade their belief in themselves. But then I'm going to keep talking to them. But you've got to have that initial break the seal of, I think you would be so good at this. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I think you guys are avoiding these kind of conversations because you think it's like going to kill you if someone rejects you, and they're going to reject you. I'm just going to tell you, like, they're going to tell you no. I think one of the hardest things Darlene shared, you sent that message and someone joined, and I said, well, how come she's not silver? Because honestly, sometimes when they say yes, we're like, oh, good. Like we totally freeze, you've got to start having the experience of sending the message. And even, they ghost you, they tell you keep doing it, because the more you do it, the less uncomfortable it is. It's sort of like, yeah, this is how I recruit. And guys, if you think the business, if you think the message reaching out to people to recruit for the business, if that feels like it's going to make you throw up, I want you to consider this. The very worst off you will be is you've told someone how amazing you think they are. You don't lose anything. It's not like she was on your team and she left. It's not like she punched you in the face. You told this person, I'm saying a her, maybe it's a guy, you told this person why you think they would be amazing at something that you thoroughly enjoy. And if they tell you no, then you left a really wonderful impression with them. Like this is a win-win. I have been pursuing someone for, I think, just a year. And I've pursued hot and heavy. And it's the person that owns the nail salon that I go to maybe 4 times a year, because I hardly ever get my nails done. But she's awesome. She would kill it. Her whole family is here in Northwest Arkansas. She is such a lover of people. She's a believer. She owns a nail salon. She has an Etsy shop where she creates t-shirts and bags. And then, and then she's got another Etsy shop where she creates bottled things. And I'm like, homegirl is killing herself with 3 businesses. She does them all well. Now, I could tell myself she doesn't have time to do this. But girl, I know if she's staying up at night working on her Etsy shop, she cares. 1, she likes being an entrepreneur. And 2, she would love the extra time that Plexus would give her. And so I keep telling her, and she says things like, thank you so much. You're so sweet to always be thinking about me. I kind of feel like she wants to tell me no, but she doesn't want to hurt my feelings. And so I'm just going to keep pouring onto her, because I really do believe that if the Lord wants it to happen, then at the right moment, she's going to tell me yes. And then she would quickly go to Emerald. She's that kind of a person. But the only thing I have to lose is I keep telling her, Maya, you are exactly the kind of person who would do incredible in my industry. I see you working so hard for your family. I see you building your first home. And I'm telling you, she's spending $1 million building this new home. I see you taking care of your family and employing them. And this is why, these are all the reasons why a business like Plexus would build you a new income and create tons of not only time, but fresh opportunities for people in your life. The worst that can happen is she says no, and maybe I go, well, then do you think one of your family members would be interested? Do y'all hear how you can lead people into that? And you do it by telling them what you see in them. Okay, Stacy, you have to go make a new hot list. But not only that, you got to reach out to someone on that hot list, and you have to risk what they think of you by telling them what you see in them. You don't make it an essay. You just go, Margot, your name came up today as I was thinking about people that I would love to do this business with. And here's why. You're really personable. You have the best attitude. You're a natural leader. And I think that you could easily make a great income and build an awesome team with Plexus. It may or may not be for you. This is the key. This is how you end this. This is why I think you're great text. This may or may not be for you, but are you open to having a conversation with me? ? Send.
So you just answered my question, because my question I put in the chat was, do you do this over Messenger? Does it have to be in person? So when you're leading with the business and you want to tell somebody, gosh, girl, I can't get you off my mind. I've been doing this since May, and all I can think of is you would be so good. Do you do that in Messenger?
You can. I mean, that's typically where I do it, because I'm not always seeing these people in person.
Right. Okay.
Oh yeah. Andrea says you sell the business on social media, but on instant messenger, or even better, text, if you've got it. I just sent one of my friends she's been a VIP customer for like 4 years, and I've had the like surface, if you ever want to get your products covered, by the way, that's not a business ask. If you ever want to get your products covered, is not introducing them to the business. Everyone wants to get their products covered, but they're not going to say, yeah, I do want to get maybe 1 in 10 people will actually go, well, yeah, I can't really afford this every month. What you say is, no, it's not just getting your product. Like, you are the kind of person that I want to be doing a call with in 9 years, where we tell people how you got into this business. And you go look for those people. All of you guys can win the iPad because you can all find 6 product users. But if you can find 2 product users and 1 person that you really believe in, that you help them go silver, that's way better for your business, because then you're going to help them go senior silver. And it is not rocket science when you're looking for the right people.
And I want to say, how many of y'all are dropping stuff on social and literally sitting back and waiting for someone to message you, like, or get in the chat, or get like, have you, like, if you are not reaching out to people, like, it's just, if you're not having conversations with people, Becky and I had an open line of communication already. So for us to be messaging each other when I started posting about Plexus wasn't weird. But if there was a closed line of communication, if I literally pulled up my DMs or my text message and didn't have her phone number, had never texted her, or had never DM'd her before, and all of a sudden was like, hey, have you thought about our probiotic? It might have been a little odd. But if I messaged her and said, girl, I know that you take what you think is the top level of probiotic. I know you are at Whole Foods all the stinking time. In fact, I know that your kids won't be in sports if it affects your Whole Foods budget. Like, I know that this is important to you. And I have something I really want you to look at, because I value your opinion so much. You're so wise. So many people will turn to you for this kind of information. Would you take a look at these products? Like, because at the time I really was products focused. I didn't even think about posting about the business. I mean, I'm sure I posted about people going silver, and people, like, it was fun to announce all of those things. We had tons of silvers in our first couple of months. And so it was fun to announce that the business was actually working, because as you heard from Beck, I've been in a part of one that did not work for me at all. But I was talking to people about the products. And so I was selling it to her as to why it would benefit her, because I knew her. So are you messaging people? Because if you are literally just putting advertising out and waiting for people to walk up to your store, I promise someone else is messaging them. Someone else is going to actually message that person and say, hey, have you heard about this pink drink? Well, yeah, I've heard Christy's posted about it, Angie's posted about it, Melissa's posted about it. Yes, but do you know what it does? Because I really want to tell you what it does. Let's get on the phone. Let's talk about it. Do you know what this business does? Well, people keep talking about Plexus. Yeah, but I want to say why I think this is going to be amazing for you, and why this is going to put your kids through travel ball, and why this is going to get you to Disney World this summer. Because I know y'all love to go to Disney, and I want to help you earn enough money to cover that trip without even thinking about it, without even pulling from savings. Do you want to get on the phone and talk about it? Yeah, I do want to get on the phone and talk about it, because the rest of y'all have been advertising on Facebook. Someone else is messaging that person directly and actually asking them, like, are you ready to talk about this, about it being for you? And I really, truly think that is where the difference is between what y'all think y'all see in diamonds, which I just want to say, like, it's so funny. And Chris is like, y'all are just amazing. I'm like, no, not amazing, just bold. Like, truly bold, truly had like huge belief in the products and the business. Never thought anybody would say no. And if they did, like, their loss. Not in a bad way, just like, oh, you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Okay, well, you'll figure it out when we're all still doing this. So I think diamonds have big belief, and exactly what Becky said, we are willing to hear no. I promise you, if you had bold in message conversations about what you see in other people and how this could truly be a massive just gift to them, and they're like, oh, I'm not interested. You're like, great. I am so glad. Like when someone responds to me, Beck, do you agree? Like when someone actually responds no, you're like, thank you so much. Thank you for just responding.
Yeah. Hey, I want to, Andrea, I want you to help me tag team Darlene. Okay, Darlene, if you're open, because you said in the chat, and I already picked on you because I said, look, you recruited someone for the business. Why isn't she silver? Now you say it's because of me, admittedly, but what does that mean? Why do you think you're the block for helping someone go silver?
I'm the block because I don't, the business part is uncomfortable for me. And I love seeing people get healthy, and I love seeing, you know, the results. And I did like what you all just mentioned before about why don't you just get your products paid for? I started at that basement level instead of like what you all have said. I'm dipping my toe in instead of, you know, being a little bolder. And, you know, I talked about it last week. I don't have any problem leading in all the other areas that I lead. I lead big teams at church. I lead big teams in my charity. And I have no problem with that. So I did get my book and I will start reading it. So I know that this is my block, and I am working towards that because I know that it's stupid for me not to have the time that I have now and not be more successful. And don't get me wrong, I've been successful and it has saved my behind with this divorce. So,
yeah, I was thinking of you when Christy was talking. You know, Christy's widowed and you've been through a divorce. And I was like, I want to be a part of someone's team that really wants to earn. And so part of it is I just encourage you, want it more. I think maybe because you're not afraid to lead and you've been to convention. Like, it's not like you're, you know, just kind of dipping your toes in. I believe you're all in with Plexus. What I'm curious about is, are you all in with yourself as an entrepreneur and as not only needing it, but wanting it and being okay with yourself with really wanting it?
Right.
I mean, do you
Are
think?
you?
Yeah, that's my question.
my stomach just went off the roller coaster just then.
I wonder what that's about.
I don't know. I do want it. Yes. And it's just odd how I guess because the
I need to go
multi-level marketing thing has frightened me. Plexus was the first thing that just not only did it work for my health, I do have a great testimony for it. And it helped me financially. So I'm kind of curious as to where my block is too. I do want it. I did have, and Tammy took care of me, but you know, the trauma of the divorce knocked me off. She trained Christy and did an amazing job training Christy because I was not there. And so I feel like I need to be a leader like her, you know, and
yeah, and I think you've got feelings there. Christy just said in the chat, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, Darlene. And Darlene, you know, there is no kind of rejection like going through a divorce. And my guess is that it ripped you raw. And you're probably carrying some of that into this business. And I'm just going to tell you, you can lay it down. You can lay that rejection down, and it does not have to be. Look, I see Sarah Stewart nodding her head. She also went through an awful divorce while she was going through Plexus, and it threatened to tear her business out from under her, and it did not. So I just want, and by the way, we all as uplines and downlines, like we go through things where we're not able to be present for certain people at certain times, and you have to lay down the guilt and get back into your business and just be like, that's okay. Tammy stepped in and helped you. And now I really want you to build your belief in yourself. But not only that, Darlene, I would challenge you, get some of your new people, especially your new builder, get her on a call with a few others and do a strategy for like, here's how we're going to start to build your teams, and just make it like you're going to put it on a sticky note and put that on your kitchen window or bathroom mirror or whatever. I'm building a legacy team. And you're going to say that over and over again. I'm looking for people who love other people. They want to build a team. I want to help you, my new business builder. I want to help you build your team. Who are the people that make you get excited when you think about what life would be like to be able to do this with them? But you're going to start to say these things over your team and your people. And you will be amazed if you keep repeating that. They'll pick it up without even thinking. I mean, when I joined Andrea and we had a little talk, she said, hey, your friend Rachel, that she had never met, Rachel Neagle, I had just kind of connected them because they both had loved ones with cerebral palsy. And I said, she said, your friend Rachel Neagle was asked about Plexus. And I thought, ooh, Rachel Neagle would that'd be so fun. And then Rachel Neagle and I got together and we were like, ooh, it would be so fun if you recruited so-and-so. Those kind of conversations, that kind of excitement, my guess, Darlene, is that you've suppressed that. And you get to get excited. You get to talk with your people and speak belief into them. Tell them I know you can do this. I know you've got 3 people and not just product users, not just we're going to cover our products. You've got 3 people that you would love, to see succeed, that you'd love to go to Nashville with, but start speaking that over your people. Darlene, I also came in for the products. And like Andrea just told you, I was no to the business, but I needed it. And I secretly wanted it, but I was afraid of failure and rejection. And I have spent 9 years working on getting over that. It still tries to come up. So I'm just telling you, you've got to do some work around this fear of rejection because you're not afraid of it at church.
No.
So why do you have to be afraid of it with Plexus?
You're right.
I'd be interested to know what you want. Like you say, I want this. I really do want this. I want to be successful. Have you ever truly written down, this is what I want? I want this paycheck. I want this many golds and this many, rubies. I want to do the business with these 3 people. If 10 years from now, I've committed to long-term with this, and these 3 people over the next 10 years join me and are successful, and their lives are forever changed because of this income, that will be a success for me. There are people on my list right now that I'm 10 years, 20, 33, if they've joined in the next 10 years and they have caught the vision and they have developed their own teams and they are hitting their own goals, that will feel like a success for me. Have you written down big dreams? And I say that, y'all, our dreams have changed a lot over 9 years. My dream wasn't even this house when I started. My dream was I want to go to Nordstrom and spend $100 on stuff my husband doesn't get to say I shouldn't have spent $100 on. That was my big dream in the first 3 months. Then as I ranked up, it was I'm going to put half of every paycheck. I think from Ruby on, we put half of every single paycheck, the big check, the 15th check, in a bank account, and grew that until, through Diamond. The house was never the goal at the beginning. At Gold, this house was not the goal. At Gold, the house was, can I make $500 over, what I'm spending with Plexus? So you might feel like your dreams are really small and they're just all you can give yourself to dream right now, and be okay with that. Stretch it just a smidge. But I promise you, now I sit down with my husband and we dream foundations. We dream putting our kids' names on something. We dream bigger than I would have ever dreamed, even at Diamond, because now I see the legacy of Diamond, what that looks like 10 years, holding that for 10 years. So I just want to challenge you, Darlene, if you haven't, spend a few minutes, and I'm talking 30 minutes in prayer with the Lord, Lord, what do you have for me? What does this look like for you? What's the story that you're trying to write in my life? What ministry are you wanting me to be a part of that I'm I'm good just volunteering? And you're no. I want you to give. I want you to be able to sacrificially give to that in a way that you never thought you would be a part of before. There are bigger things I think that God has planned for you because you're here and you're being obedient to this. Are you leaning into those? Or are there areas even in ministry that you're playing small because you're no, this is all I can do. This is all I want to do. So I would just challenge you to sit down with the Lord and just say, what do you want me to do here? What do you want me to dream? Like there is never a time in scripture that God isn't giving people dreams and giving people visions and saying bigger. Like, I have something for you you would have never imagined as a shepherd boy. Like, I have big things for you, and I just need you to just go along with me. And so I just want to challenge you to dream big, because I think when you have big goals, then you start to cast vision for big goals for other people too. Okay, it is 101. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed knowing a little bit more about Becky's story, a little bit more about how our team kind of between the two of us kind of got launched and started. But even more, I hope you saw a potential in our story. I hope you found the confidence to go and message someone today that you're like, okay, I'm ready to go message my Becky, my person that is going to be a joy to work with, is maybe smarter than you, which Becky is smarter than me, maybe has just different strengths than you do, totally different person, and that y'all can come together and actually be a powerhouse team together. So I am so excited to see who y'all recruit for the business over the next 90 days. Talk to you later.